And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. We're talking some San Bernardino Valley College track and field in this segment. A very strong spring for the Wolverines under head coach Ken Lawler. Really working on the sprinters with assistant coach Tyree Washington, who won some state titles when he ran for the Wolverines not too long ago. Also, of course, a world champion running with Team USA. But now SBVC really recruiting San Bernardino and the IE, looking for some great high school athletes to join SBVC and maybe the next great sprinter out there. So here's our interview with head coach Ken Lawler and assistant coach Tyree Washington. And now join us here on the program as we talk a little San Bernardino Valley College track and field. The Wolverines just wrapped up the season, and they are on the rise. We got head coach Ken Lawler joining us, Tyree Washington in just a moment as well. And Coach Lawler, I know you as a football guy, but man, you're doing big things at SBVC on the track as well. Have you always been a track guy? Did you run track in high school growing up?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I started running track when I was like 8 years old, ran youth track, AAU track, junior Olympic track, all the way to middle school, and then continued through middle school and followed my youth track coach to high school. And not a lot of people know this, but back then we were a small school, Verbum Day High School.
Yeah.
I was 3-time CIF champion in 100 and the 200.
So you know a little bit of something about sprinting and running then.
I know Tyree. I don't know if Tyree knew that.
I didn't even know that. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. My freshman year, I won CIF in 102, sophomore year and junior year, and then I got senioritis. I didn't run my senior year. Broke my track coach's heart, but. And that's the only reason why I went to college. I got a scholarship to Oregon because I wasn't a very good football player, but I was fast.
Well, Coach, now you're doing track at SBVC. Just real quick, before we look at the future, just talk about this past spring for your teams. It looks like both the boys and the girls moving in that right direction, right? Trending in the positive direction.
Trending in a positive direction is exactly right. Our women's team, we took third with 3 girls in the conference championship, and then we qualified more athletes than we've qualified in quite some time. Both distance wise and the sprinters. So yeah, it's a positive move in the right direction, but as Coach Washington tell you, we're nowhere near where we want to go. We're nowhere near where we want to go, and it's just going to get better. Recruiting is going good right now, so it's just going to keep going higher and higher.
Well, we will talk recruiting in just a moment, but let me bring Tyree Washington into the equation as well here. And Coach Washington. Obviously, Coach Lawler was quite the runner as well, but Coach Washington, a world champion. He's also a local guy from La Sierra, and of course SBVC as well. Tyree, what do you? It's kind of a general question, but what is the key to being a great sprinter?
Well, it's always think one level up. I mean, when I was at Valley many years ago in 1997, my coach told me from day one is that I was a professional athlete, so everything I did was of a professional athlete, and that's just in the weight room, that's on the track, that's competing, dressing, someone trying to eat. I mean, everything. And when I went pro, it wasn't a culture shock. I mean, me and Coach K were talking about this earlier, that is, if you think like everybody else, you'll be like everybody else. That's not what we're trying to be at SBVC. That's not what I was trying to be while I was there. My goal was to take out Michael Johnson, my first international race, and after he had a 6-year winning streak, which I did. So it's all the mental. I mean, you can look like a Greek god, but if you don't have a strong mental and stick to your blueprint, your script, I mean, you're going to fall like a deck of cards. So,
is it important to you, being a former Wolverine, to help put SBVC back on that track map and maybe produce some state champions like you were?
Yeah, I mean, it's my way of paying it forward and just giving back. I mean, SBVC will always be my home. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't, for me enrolling at San Valley College if it wasn't for the late Coach Blackman Ehem, aka Pops, the one that instilled so many great values in me to be able to become one of the greatest 400-meter runners that ever lived.
You know, Tyree, please correct me if I'm wrong, but do you still hold a couple state records? I think in the 400, is it the 200 as well?
No, the 200 meter, I had the state record for a little bit that got broke, but the national record has not been broken. That's 44:52. So I mean, every year that's like it's been 20 some years. So every year, I'm always hoping somebody will get close to it because records are meant to be broken. I mean, that's what they're there for. But no one's come close to
it. So enjoy it while you can, right?
Yeah. I mean, you enjoy it, but I mean, it's a great recruiting tool. I mean, and a lot of people believe that junior college athletes can't get us become the best in the world in track and field, and they can't defy the odds and do the things that are impossible. I mean, because you compete with a lot of other entities. I mean, you compete with the high school athletes, and obviously you have student athletes that coming from overseas. So there's a lot of competition out there, and there's only a handful of scholarships. So, for me, it's just it's a great tool to show the athletes that we are recruiting that it can be done with a lot of discipline, hard work, and the right mentality.
All right, Tyree, before I go back to Coach Lawler, when you talk to local athletes across the Inland Empire, I'm talking about like the high school kids, what would you say to kind of encourage them, hey, SBVC might be the place for you. This is a place where you could grow. This is a place where you can get better, and you're going to get great coaching. I mean, between you and Coach Lawler, I mean, I don't know if there's a better duo out there.
No, the duo is amazing. I mean, it's great. I mean, I tell them, just look at me. I'm the example because I came from junior college. I mean, I know the atmosphere. I can speak the language. I can. I was a phenomenal athlete in junior college, and so a lot of athletes they're looking for that. And I wasn't just a great athlete. I had great coaches which helped me to become a great coach. And I mean, years ago, I had Coach Jim Bush, the Hall of Famer at UCLA, USC, and he told me that he said, "Hey, I'm not just training you to be a great athlete. I'm training you to be a great coach one day to pass that baton." So I am the example. I mean, I feel like I am the push. It's like Prime Time in Colorado. I mean, Prime Time was an amazing football player, and obviously he's very well spoken, but he is the attraction. I mean, people are going to University of Colorado because they go into Prime Time. It's more than one, of course.
Yeah. Now you're talking my language, man. I'm a big Deion Sanders fan. Coach Lawler, let me go back to you on this one. I know I've seen enough local, track and field meets that I know there's a ton of local talent in the Inland Empire. In fact, I saw you. I don't know if you saw me, but I saw you out at Ukaipa High School at the CBL track and field finals, the Citrus Belt League track and field finals. But what was your spring like this? The last couple of weeks and months. I know obviously you're coaching at SBVC, but at the same time, are you trying to hit as many high school meets as possible to see maybe the next future Wolverines out there?
Oh, absolutely. I was I was out at the CIF finals a week ago. Watching that tremendous track meet. I was, like you said, you saw me at the CBL. Before that, I was over at the league finals for it was like 10 different high schools in the local area: Rialto, San G, Indian Springs, Carter, Summit, Europa. I was over there. So we're just getting out. Letting the coaches know, letting the athletes know that we have a viable and we're going to be a competitive championship level program at SBVC, and so that's been the push, and that's going to continue to be the push. I told Coach we want to put a fence around San Bernardino, and keep all the athletes, track athletes that are here in San Bernardino here, because there's other schools that have been coming in here for too long, cherry picking our track and field athletes, and we haven't been doing anything about that. But that is changing, and it's going to continue to change.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to spend much on gas money to go find recruits because there's so many in the San Bernardino area and, maybe like Redlands and the surrounding communities, Rialto and Fontana. Like, you don't have to go Riverside. You don't have to go very far to find enough guys and gals to, fill up a track team.
Yes, and we're already pulling them in from those exact schools that you named. So, we're filling our roster up, and we're pointing towards the future, and Coach Washington and myself, we're championship level coaches, elite coaches, and that's the type of program that we're going to have, and that's the type of program we're building.
Well, thanks to Coach Lawler and Coach Washington for that interview. Had a lot of fun with that. I'm Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you watching Sports Weekly. Make sure you subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.